did it bloody fall off? I didn't get that.
Yeah, I went there. What else?
Was I shaking the table?
Yeah, you're always shaking.
Oh.
You didn't know that. You're now.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm live now, and we're talking about me shaking the table. Okay. Welcome to this week's LinkedIn Live, and we're talking about, let's get this going like so. Where is it? Okay, here we are. All right, so our topic for today is how to transform Twitter threads into LinkedIn carousels. My name is Anthony Chansamove from Authentic Marketer, and let's jump straight into it. So, and let's just make sure that I'm not on mute. So if you can hear me, please let me know in the comments in the chat, and let me know where you're dialing in from today, and let's go. Okay, so here we are. So I've been consulting with different small business owners in the property space and also services businesses over the last couple of months. And a common block that comes up for a lot of these owners is, I always say, why aren't you posting on LinkedIn? And here are some common things that are coming up for them. Number one is that they run out of ideas for new and engaging content. They get writer's block, or whatever you want to call it, and just struggle with ideas. Number two is a feeling of overwhelm because they've got so much on their plates that producing content consistently and publishing it consistently is a bit of a challenge. Number three is just the time and effort it takes to create new content for multiple platforms, right? So if you're creating content on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, it could be a bit much. And so they put in a too hard basket and it just doesn't get done. Right, so I'm going to show you a solution to address all of this, and something that works really well for me and for some of my other clients. And really, it all comes down to repurposing your content, right? So there's so much effort in producing individual pieces of content, but not as much effort being put into repurposing that content for different platforms. And I think distribution is the key to success with content marketing. And so, if you're not redistributing and distributing your content well, that's why you're going to find it tough, right, to get results from it. Okay, so here's how we transform Twitter threads into LinkedIn carousels, right? Okay, so to start off with, we need to start with a Twitter thread, right? Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term and you're not clear on that, what a Twitter thread is, essentially on Twitter, you can post a series of tweets, right? So each post is a tweet. If you can post one tweet, and underneath that, you could post a series of subtweets. And that's what we call a Twitter thread. It's also referred to as a tweet storm. You may have seen me refer to it as a tweet storm in my previous ChatGPT trainings, right? So anyway, the point is, let's assume that you've already done that. You've gone and posted a tweet thread or a Twitter thread on Twitter. So now all you're trying to do is take this content and repurpose it and reuse it on LinkedIn, right? So here we go. What we need to do is, well, the question is, well, how do I get it and from here to LinkedIn? Because it's not a simple case of just copy all these texts and images and everything and pasting it into a LinkedIn post. It won't work that way. No, we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use a tool called LinkedIn Carousel Generator, right? And this is a tool that's been created by a company called Taplio, taplio.com. This is free to use, right? Only caveat with using the free one is that it's going to put some branding, their branding and their URL in the images that it produces for you. So if you want to get rid of that, then you will want to sign up for their one of their subscriptions. Okay. The other benefit of having a Taplio subscription is you can do things like schedule your posts on LinkedIn. You can also view your stats. So here you go. So it's just going to bring up my last 30 days of stats. And I just want to quickly show you what's possible and why I know this works, right? So over the last 30 days, I've grown my followers by 342. I've had, decent impressions here with my content. Profile views, 300 plus profile views, 300 plus engagements, 32 posts, 170 comments, and so forth, right? So this is all trending really nicely and growing this profile. I really started maybe 2 months ago, or just over 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, and using this tool has really been helpful in doing that, okay, and using this process that I'm showing you today. Okay, so let's come back to here. We've got our tweet thread. We're going to copy the first link from here, and we go over to the carousel generator. And if we scroll down, you can see here it says post your tweet, Reddit post, or image URL. So I'm going to post the link to the first tweet, and I'm going to click on this box that says that it's a thread, right? That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is you can actually, this only works if the tweet thread has been posted or published in the last, I think, 2 or 3 days. And if it's older than that, then this won't work. It's going to give you an error saying that you would need to copy the link to each individual tweet or subtweet into here. So you'd have to paste the first one, then the second one, then you'd have to add new and add the third one, and so forth, right? But because this particular tweet thread has only been live since this morning, we can use this option here, okay, which will speed things up. Now we want to just click on the advanced options. By default, it's going to do things like show the engagement for each tweet, show the dates of each tweet, and it's going to have a watermark, especially if you're on the free plan, right? So you can actually disable all of these. So I'm going to do that because I don't want the watermark on there, and I do have a Taplio subscription, as I mentioned. So all you need to do next is click on Generate Carousel, and it can take up to a minute. So whilst that's happening, why don't you let me know just in the chat, if you how often you're posting on LinkedIn, and how much would you like to be posting on LinkedIn, and if you're posting on Twitter as well, do you have a Twitter profile, and drop the link in Twitter there so we can connect with each other, okay? And I'm just enjoying my Vietnamese coffee this morning over here in Vietnam. It's the way to do it. All right, so I'm going to just share also that this Twitter thread, all right, actually came from a newsletter that I put out last Friday, right? So the way I start my content process is I have a newsletter that I publish once a week, and then from that newsletter, it's more in depth and long form. You can see here within that there are marketing tips. There are I'm sharing 3 things that caught my attention. Cool tweets of the week. It's still loading, so it's not displaying this properly right now. Tool of the week, I share at least one tool of the week, and other thoughts and whatnot going on in my world. Okay, so I start with this, and from there I repurpose that into a Twitter thread, and then from that Twitter thread I repurpose it into a LinkedIn carousel post. Okay, and just to give you an idea what a carousel post is while it's being generated, here you can see that if you go to view my activity and you click on documents, you can see that here is an example of a carousel post, right? So it's basically a PDF file that's been uploaded, and then when it's presented on LinkedIn, it's basically a clickable, it's almost like a slideshow, right? And you can take people through different things. So here's one I did previously, and these are really, these are really good right now for organic reach. It's good for engagement. And if you're not already incorporating these into your LinkedIn posting or your LinkedIn plan, I highly recommend you do at least one a week if you can. Right, so let's come back to the carousel generator. It's done. It's giving me the the confetti, and then all I need to do is click on. There's 2 options. You can click on Download Carousel, which will give you a PDF file with all the slides in there already created. So let's view that. Like so. The only thing I don't like about the auto-generated PDF is it's got the branding here with the URL, which I don't want to have in my documents, right? So if you're okay with that, then you can use this. You can take this and you can upload it to LinkedIn. The other issue I have with this one is it's also copied it's taken my last tweet in the Twitter thread, which is a call to action for people to follow me on Twitter, and that's my Twitter handle, which doesn't make any sense and is referring to a thread here. This don't make sense on LinkedIn, so I want that removed, okay? So I'm not going to use this automatically generated PDF. I mean, you can do that. That will save you a bunch of time. I don't want to use it for those two reasons. So instead, what I'm going to do is click on download on each of these images independently, okay? And I just click download. So it's going to download those. And I'm going to skip the last slide because that's the one I don't want, right? And then I put them. Okay, so I've got them in a folder here. Okay, so you can see that here are the different images that have come from there. Awesome. Now you've got the images, but how do you actually turn it into a document or a PDF document that you can upload to LinkedIn? Well, here's where we use a tool called Canva. I'm sure you're already familiar with this and are probably already using it in some capacity. So inside of Canva, there's a neat template you can use, which is called, and you can search for, which is LinkedIn Carousel. All right, so then you can click on this, and that's going to give you a bunch of LinkedIn Carousel templates. And you can create a blank one. You can use any of these, however way you want to do it. I've already created one previously. I used the blank carousel, and I just set the background color, and I've already used it previously. So I'm just going to copy an old one that I already did, which is, well, I did this ahead of time. I'll show you exactly the steps that I took to do this. All right, so what I did was I opened up this carousel template. I renamed the file to Salsa Lessons Carousel because this whole thread is all about 5 entrepreneur lessons that I learned from salsa dancing. I then uploaded the images that I exported from the LinkedIn Carousel generator tool. I uploaded them here into Canva, and I simply just dragged and dropped into each one into a separate page, right? So here you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a recap, and then there's the call to action here. With the call to action, I want to link it back to the actual newsletter where it came from, where the original content came from. So I click on link. I just paste it in here, press enter, and now that link is added. So if anyone were to download this document, they could click on this, and that will take them to the newsletter, right? And you could use that for whatever resource you want to share, right? If you're doing a carousel as a summary of a guide that you've created, or a blog post you've created, or a podcast episode that you've created, this is a nice way to link back to that original source material, right? And then I've got a final slide here, which is basically just an invitation for people to follow me if they're enjoying the content on LinkedIn, and this is specific to LinkedIn. Okay, so now I've got those. I can now click on share, download, and we're going to choose PDF standard, right? And then hit download. Then what that will give us is it's going to create a PDF file that looks like this. This is the one I did previously. Okay, so here we go. It's got the site. So now the tweet thread has become a LinkedIn carousel, right? It's a PDF file, and you can share this PDF. You can email it around to people, share it to people however you want to. But in this example, we're going to put it on LinkedIn. So what we need to do is just go home, we're going to start a new post. All right, and then I'm just going to copy that heading from the first tweet, put in there, that's the headline, great. And then I'm going to actually copy this intro paragraph from my newsletter. And then I'm just going to add a little bit. Now, what you want to do with the post is you want to direct people to actually click on the carousel, right? Because you've done the work to take the content from one platform, from Twitter to here. So you want people to actually see the slides. So you're going to, give them a reason to see the slides. So I'm going to say something like, little did I know that would teach me some valuable lessons right, check out my 5 lessons by clicking on the slides. Carousel. You can say what's your, or I can say something like, which lesson resonates with you most? Okay, and then we can just give it some hashtags: entrepreneur, salsa dancing, and then you want to attach the actual file. So click on add a document here. It says choose the file you want to attach. We're going to go into the folder with the file there. Click on open. Okay, we're going to put let's copy the title again. Like so, okay. Click on, and let's just check, make sure you check the Excel list once to make sure that it's in the right order and you've got the right PDF uploaded. I've made that mistake before, not cool. Awesome. We're good. Right, you come down here, click done. Now our post is ready to go. Our carousel, our PDF is attached. Perfect. And then you can either hit post, or you can, if you've got the ability to do it right now, you can click schedule for later and schedule this post to go out on LinkedIn. So that's the process. We've now taken a Twitter thread, we've turned it into a LinkedIn carousel, okay, and we've repurposed that. When you've done this a couple of times, you can get it down to 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get that happening, or have your assistant do it, or someone on your team make that happen. Okay, so let's come back here, and we're just going to recap a couple of things. So now, just here are tools that we use to do this. We've got our Twitter thread. We started with that. We put it into the link carousel generator in Taplio. And then from there, we exported those images, put those images into Canva, and used the LinkedIn carousel template inside of Canva to turn it into a PDF document that we uploaded to LinkedIn. Okay, that's how we complete this process. If you got value from this and want to learn more and get some great marketing tips once a week, just head over to my newsletter and subscribe at join.theauthenticmarketer.com. All right, and you see here a few of my readers have said things like, they love the newsletter, great in-depth pieces that I write, authentic, packed with valuable info, and no salesy. From Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. So that's our tip from this week. Hope you got value from that. Let me know what was your number one takeaway from this video. Put it in the chat for me. And if you have any questions at all, or any ideas or topics for other videos in future, let me know, and I'm happy to take a look at that. Alrighty, well, I'm going to say thank you, and we'll see you next time.